Hi, it's Cheryl. Welcome to Home Rich Studio. Today I have 3 beautiful budget-friendly home decor pieces to share with you. This video is part of the Talented Creators collaboration, which I will tell you about shortly. But first, let's just go make something. Number 1. I believe all these pieces are from the Dollar Tree. Here's what I have. I have that piece there, that hanger, the placemat with the pumpkins on it. This flower, it was like in a little pot, just one single flower. I have some ribbon. I use the middle one, the checkered one, and then I have some jute. So now I'm removing everything from this piece here. I don't know what that's called, like a breadboard or something. I don't know. That's what I'll just call it. And I really want this orange pumpkin in the middle of it. And I just love this placemat so much, and I was hankering to use it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to place it in the middle. And by the way, this is my very first grandson. I know I've told you in previous videos. His name is Malachi. He was born 2 weeks ago today. Today is Saturday, September 20th. He was 8 pounds 5 inches and 5 ounces. 8 pounds 5 ounces and 19.5 inches long. He came out C-section. It was an extremely tough labor. He was in NICU, the ICU, for a few days. He swallowed his meconium, so that was really kind of rough seeing him go through that and all hooked up. I did get to finally hold him about a week ago, and now I have a head cold and I'm trying to stay away from him, but he's a little sweetheart. Anyway, I wanted to share that really exciting news with you guys. So back to this. As you can see, I am just cutting out. First I put that down on the placemat, and I got it where I wanted the pumpkin, like in the center of it, and then I glued it. I just kind of picked that up a little bit and glued it all around there, and then cut it out. And this is so quick and so easy, you guys. You can make this in like 5 minutes. I swear you can. It's just super easy. I just took my jute here and I'm just wrapping it around half of the handle. So I go all the way up, and I put a little bit of hot glue in between most of these little, every time I wrap it around, I put hot glue in the front and in the back to hold that, and I push the jute together so you don't see, the board behind it. And you can see what I'm doing here. And this is totally customizable. You can use a placemat, you can use paper, craft paper, scrapbook paper. I just had this placemat in my stash. I just really wanted to use it because I thought it was so pretty. And I just left that hanger on it. As you can see, it was just came with a jute hanger, but I removed everything else for another project and another day. And then I glued that last little piece on the back there. And I love that spatula. I use it every time I craft because I think it helps prevent my fingers from burning most of the time. And see how easy this is. And now I'm going to, the edges were a little rough because it was a placemat. I mean, if it were scrapbook paper you wouldn't have to outline it, but it was a little frayed, so I just took some jute and I just wrapped it around the edges. And actually the jute I'm using is not from the Dollar Tree. You can use that, it's just a little thinner than this jute, and I picked this up from Walmart. It's a little thicker. And now the jute obviously is a very hairy, very fuzzy, so I just took my lighter here and I just cleaned it up a little bit. If you do that, make sure that you have some water nearby, a spray bottle or some water or something, just in case. Haven't had it happen to me yet, but you never know. And I took this nice big flower here and I just popped it on that other pumpkin. I didn't want to see the other pumpkin. I just love the orange pumpkin. Then I took and made a shoelace bow, a big long one from this ribbon here. And now I'm just going to kind of ruche it up on the sides. I cut it off on an angle, and then I hot glued it. And I did that to both sides, just hot glued it around the sides there. So you can see the pumpkin and the flower in the center. And that's it. Simple, and I think this turned out so beautiful. Oh, nope, that's not it. I forgot. I had some little leaves left over in my stash. You know, when you use the flowers off your picks, but you still have the leaves left, I saved those. And so I just wanted it to look a little bit more 3D. And you know, the blow dryer trick, if the flowers or your leaves are all smushed up and crunched up, because mine get packed away in a box, just take the blow dryer and hit that, zap that a little bit for a couple seconds, and it will relax the material, and it works like a charm. So today's collaboration is the Talented Creators Collaboration, which takes place once a month, and this month's theme is Harvest. And I'd like to thank the beautiful, talented hosts and sweet friends of mine, Aurea with DIY with Aurea, Loli with Loli D's Creations, and our guest host this month is the Southern Shell. The links for their channels are below in my description box, so you can go check them out, as well as the playlist with all of today's participants for tons of ideas and inspiration. Okay, number 2. This is a pomegranate wreath. And so I believe all this is from the Dollar Tree as well. So this is the 14-inch wreath form, wire wreath form. And these are eucalyptus stems. These are the pomegranates. And I have a bunch of these dark red burgundy type flowers. Most of them are mums. I just pulled everything that I had out of my stash that were the same color. I don't use the daisy looking ones, but I do use the mums. And I have a bunch of ribbon. I just pulled the ribbon to match the colors that I'm using. So I don't use the burlap lace ribbon, but I do use the green one here, as you can see. And I use the burlap and red checked one. So I am just going to take this and I'm going to glue it onto the wire frame. And then now I'm just going to take this and wrap it around the whole frame, pulling it quite tight, wrapping it on an angle. And I do it on an angle so you can use as much ribbon as possible, or as little ribbon as possible. I don't want to run out of ribbon is what I'm saying. So I was able to wrap this whole entire piece using, as you can see, just barely. I just barely made it. I just glued it onto itself, the ribbon onto itself. So now I have the eucalyptus. I can't talk today. Now I have the eucalyptus picks and I'm clipping the wires off the ends there. And I'm going to take 6 of these, just 6 stems, and I'm going to put them right in the middle. So 3 on each side overlapping, so I can take the zip tie and zip tie that right in the middle there. And now I have these and I'm doing the blow dryer trick with them. As you can see, they're very tethered. They came out of my box. They were all smushed. And yeah, this is the best trick. It wasn't my idea, but kudos to the person who figured this out. Okay, so apparently I glued 3 of those flowers onto the bottom, and I probably just didn't push play on my camera. And I went ahead and glued 3 of them on each side. So yeah, missing a little footage, but you guys know how to do that. You don't need to see me glue. You can just see the finished product here and how it turned out. Now I'm making a bow, and I just fold it over on itself. I believe that was 4 times, enough so you can look in the middle of the ribbon and see that you can pull out 2 on each side, so 4 loops. And now I'm going to fold it in half, and this is how you find the center. And I'm going to cut a little teeny notch on each side, and I have a piece of jute here, and I'm just going to tie it. So the notch will help the jute for you to be able to pull the knot tighter, and then you don't see the center of the bow. So I do like to use that little notch trick quite often. And now the little extra little pieces here, quite often I just cut those into a point. But then I had a better idea. I kind of just didn't like them when I put the bow on the top of the wreath. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. Now I'm taking some more of this ribbon, and I'm just going to make some tails. Just fold them in half and then over, and then dovetail it. That's what I'm doing here. And so now I'm just going to take these little pieces here, instead of using them like part of the ribbon. I'm just going to tie the tails onto that and then clip the extra ribbon off. I didn't want those little points sticking up. Sometimes I leave them in there, sometimes I don't. And there we go. It's a really simple ribbon, and I think it turned out so pretty. And I love this ribbon. I've had this since last year. I don't know, I went crazy with my buying last year, you guys, and I have so much that I've been able to really craft a lot out of my stash. I buy a few little pieces here and there, the newer pieces. But for the most of it, I really haven't bought a whole lot of stuff, and now the prices are going up. I can't believe it. So now I have the pomegranates, and I am just gluing them around the eucalyptus here, and I've glued 3 of them in the center of the bow. And for the most of it, this is it. And again, very budget friendly and all Dollar Tree stuff. Okay, number 3, last but not least, this is probably my favorite piece. This is very easy and inexpensive as well. I have this little gnome sign from the Dollar Tree. So any board, if you're going to be making this piece. I did get a lot of stencils from Amazon. I had a bunch of them. I got them a couple years ago. I don't know how much they were, but this is Welcome to Our Patch. I made my own terracotta paint like a year ago. I don't even remember what I concocted in there, but it's lasted a whole year. So I have some ribbon, and I have that acrylic paint from the Dollar Tree, and I think this bunch is from Hobby Lobby, and I know I got them 40% off. because I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not pay full price for those. And then I have some squash and or gourds, I think they're called, and then a pumpkin. Those are from the Dollar Tree. I have these little upholstery clippers, or not clippers, pullers. Those are from Amazon. Those are the best thing ever. I just removed the little staples. There were 2 on each side, and they're tiny, tiny. So those removers helped a ton. And I just removed all of that from the back. And if you want to cover, which will be the back where you see the gnome sign on it, just put craft paper or any kind of paper on the back of it. I just glue it on there. So I did use this, and it is called Fawn, and I put 2 coats of that on there, and that is from the Dollar Tree. And then this one is also from the Dollar Tree, this acrylic paint. It is called Almond. It's a nice big bottle. It's not the best paint. I usually prefer to use chalk paint on pieces like this, but I have a lot of acrylic paint and I kind of want to use it up. I'm trying to make this look like wood. So this is like maybe 2 shades lighter than the fawn, the almond color, and I just dry brushed it on there. So now when it's all completely dry, this has got to be dry, I'm taking my stencil and I'm just going to tape it on really well. I do have the pixie spray. I really don't like to use it because it makes my stencils very sticky, and I really don't know how to get the stickiness off of the stencils. Soap and water does not work, and I've tried Goo Gone, and that doesn't work really well. So I don't know, I just tape them on. For me, it's just easier. And now I'm just stenciling. This is just black acrylic paint and a dabber from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just, you offload the paint onto a napkin or a paper towel as best as you can. And this takes a while. To stencil takes, patience, and just take your time. It's not going to come out perfect most of the time. You are going to have to fill in like I have. This is a detail brush I'm using here. I got a 6-pack from Ross. I know you can get them at probably Amazon and any craft store, but they're called detail brushes. They're tiny, tiny. They work like a charm. And every time you stencil, you're just going to have to do a little bit damage control. So repainting over or connecting the words. So that's what I did here, and then I made sure that the paint was really dry, and then I put the stencil back on, and then I used the terracotta paint to paint out the pumpkin, and then I just took a Sharpie, and you can use a Sharpie too as opposed to a detail brush if you're using black. And yeah, that's what I did. So anyway, I want to thank all of my subscribers. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And if you're not subscribed yet, a warm welcome to my channel, Home Rich Studio. So if you like budget-friendly decor, home decor, seasonal decor, thrift flips, and so much more, tap the subscribe button, tap the bell notification, and check the all, and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, so as you can see here, I just put some floral foam up there, up in the upper corner, and I'm just taking this pick and I am just tearing it all apart. No, I'm clipping it all apart with my wire clippers. And this is how I like to make my florals. I piece them together. And no worries if you buy a big bunch of florals like this. You can get them from Walmart, and you can get them from Michael's, or you can get them from Hobby Lobby. So now I'm just taking this and just putting the pieces in, no rhyme or reason, no order. I kind of like to do, if there's a red piece, with leaves on top, and then I'll put another one on the bottom, kind of on the opposite side. Berries up on top on the right side, then I put berries on the bottom. on the left side. They don't have to be exactly perfectly across from each other. That's what adds interest to it, because florals, plants, flowers, they're not perfect. And so that's kind of how I put together all of my florals and all of my videos. I really enjoy doing this. And so after I put enough of these pieces in here, I'm just taking one of these gourds and I'm taking one of the wires, they're the stems that came off of the stem, that came off of the pick. I just clipped it, popped it in the bottom of the squash there. I'm not going to use that second one. I thought it was too much. And then now I have this green pumpkin from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to pop that in there just by putting one of those wires in at the bottom there. And some of them I glued in, some of them I didn't, but if you're going to give this away, sell it, or or put it even outside, I would definitely make it permanent with putting some hot glue in there. And this is how it turned out, and I love this piece. Probably my best stenciling I've done yet. I think the key with stenciling is just take your time. Don't put a lot of paint on there. Make sure that you tape it down really well. And that's kind of what I did. And I thought, you know what? I am just going to stay here and stencil. If it's a half hour that it takes me, so be it. But I'm just going to take my time. And I think that's all the difference. Because if I hurry through it, then, that's when you get a lot of that bleeding. So here is the whole shebang. Here are all three pieces. Obviously these are all hangers, so I couldn't hang them on my wall. I didn't want all those nail holes in it. So I just put them on my little credenza here. And I really hope that you've enjoyed my video, and this is all I have for now. Don't remember to check out the host channels and the playlist. Remember to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And like I always say, I'll be back really soon. And until then, you have a blessed week. Bye.